Greetings, we are interdimensional beings coming to you today to speak to you about a few things that we would like to say to the Earth planet at this time. We have been very fortunate to be here during this time to interact with the beings of the Earth plane during this time of transition. As you move from a third dimensional world into a fifth dimensional world, you slowly change from being physical beings to light beings. We would like to talk a little more about this. As you are aware, things have started to shift and change in your world, and this has not always been very pleasant. Over the last few years, many things have changed so that you are experiencing unrest. There have been many political issues that have shaken your world. Things to do with the weather or other personal issues like perhaps the loss of a job or a loved one due to an illness, and the global pandemic, as you call it, has been causing a lot of unrest. All of these issues are wrapped into the larger event of your transition from the third dimension into the fifth dimension. In order for you to understand this transition, it takes a bit of expanding of your mind, if you will. As a population, you have been governed and ruled by many that have not had your best interest at heart. They have unfortunately indoctrinated you into slavery. This might be hard for you to believe, but this is the truth. These beings have infiltrated your planet. These beings that come from other worlds and other galaxies as invaders. The beings that come to your planet are from various planets and planes of existence that are of a very aggressive energy, and the main reason for them coming to these places like the Earth plane are purely for reasons of invasion and acquiring various materials, and also unfortunately to infiltrate the human mind and body and commit its population and consciousness to slavery. These beings have done these actions over many thousands of years on many planets and many planes of existence. And this is their mentality. They are called the Draco-Reptilians and the Orion Greys. They have formed an alliance that goes back many thousands of years, and to what you might call as the Orion Wars. We, as representatives of the Galactic Federation, have tried to enforce universal laws on these groups of beings, also for many thousands of years. But they have continued with their rampage across the galaxies, and unfortunately the Earth plane has been one such place that they have set up their rule and their destruction. For many years now, they have been ruling your plane of existence and have committed the beings on this plane to slavery and indoctrination. And you have unfortunately been entangled in their actions of depravity. They have overtaken your process of conscious evolution, which normally would be a progression from the third to the fourth and then the fifth dimension. But this has been interrupted, and you have remained stagnant in the third dimension, as these beings have highly developed technologies with the ability to do this sort of thing. So they have, in a way, interrupted the work of the higher light, or as we like to call this, all-knowing being, as all that is. They have stemmed the growth of your consciousness with their methods of deprivation. And what this has done is, it has indoctrinated your mind into their way of thinking, and they have allowed for their ways to, in a way, charm you into thinking that you have everything that you need and that you are living a comfortable life and that you have got everything that you need. But in fact, this is just an idea of your happiness. It isn't true happiness. It is a falsity. And so what we, who represent the Galactic Federation, who are in your orbit right now and trying to rid you of these elements, we are trying to free you from these beings so that you may continue on with your progression and your evolution, so that you are back on your conscious evolution into the fifth dimension. In a way, you are being fast forwarded from the third to the fifth dimension because your planet is evolving with you, and so she, in her growth, is taking you with her on this enhanced journey through the cosmos. So in a way, you are being asked to progress, or rather jump from the third to the fifth dimension. And so you are experiencing all of these emotions and these various shifts in your consciousness at a very accelerated speed. Under normal circumstances, this would have been a very subtle movement from one to the other, and so the movement would have been gradual, and you would not have been so shocked into experiencing all of these things together. So we encourage you to take stock of all these changes that are happening in your life. Evaluate the situation against the backdrop of what we have just told you, and absorb this with this larger perspective, and know that you are being supported on a higher level. There are many light beings, and as we said earlier, the presence of all that is always with you. And with the removal of these dark energies from your earth plane, the light beings and the light energy has flooded your plane, and so you are able to now connect with your higher self and this higher light with much more ease, devoid of the restrictions that were put on you by these darker entities. They are no longer allowed to infiltrate your light. And so you have a clear channel now to the higher light to make these connections and continue on your path uninterrupted. We will end this transmission for today. We hope that you will allow for these truths to infiltrate your being and continue on your journey uninterrupted. Blessings.